What's up, nerds? Welcome to episode 62 of NGR Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrick, and alongside me, no Matt. Remember, Matt's on hiatus, but we got Moose.
Yeah!
Moose
Yeah! Party people.
Woo! No Matt, we can stay on topic.
We can be done in like 10 minutes, or.
We don't have to talk about music. We don't have to talk about any of this garbage.
You can talk about Destiny without somebody being
No, I already said I wasn't going to talk a lot about Destiny. I might talk a little bit about Destiny, but joining Moose and I, you know him from Arsenal X and Nintendo Pow Block, an Optional Opinion, and World 1-1, and the 9 million other things that he does everywhere on the internet. That retro code, Edward Varnell.
What is up, everybody? I'm so excited to be here. Woohoo!
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's Ed's thing. Every time we do an episode of Arsenal X, he makes a X pun.
That's so excited to be here.
Yeah.
Nobody's excited about that X though. X gonna give it to you.
We had a really good episode last week though. Well, this week, but yeah, anyways, that episode was actually really good. We had a lot of good conversation.
Yes.
Oh, man. But anyways, I'm so excited. We almost beat the raid last night, and then we didn't beat the raid last night. Dude, that final boss, man. There were so many glitches preventing us from beating that final boss in the raid last night. And by the way, if you haven't been listening, I've been playing a lot of Destiny, and that's what we're talking about, the Destiny 2 raid.
Well, it's good that you was able to raid because the stupid servers for mine keep kicking out on Xbox One. Like, really, Bungie? Are we still having server problems for regular Destiny?
They took the servers down today that add the faction war stuff.
It's not even that. Last time I was playing, I got kicked off the server.
It's because they're doing maintenance. They keep adding stuff.
You cannot be adding stuff when there's no way that you start a game in Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, and you play for 15 minutes and it kicks you off.
Well, you're playing on Xbox, right?
It happened on PlayStation. It'll happen on PlayStation also.
Yeah, it's because they're doing server maintenance. They do it. They've been doing it for the first month. They do it once a week, and then they do it once every 2 or 3 weeks.
When I had Destiny 1, this is way after all that stuff should have been done, and I was still getting kicked off the server.
Do you think this is worse than when we were playing Destiny 1?
This is just worse, period.
Okay.
You cannot throw an online game like this. Expect a million people.
All this maintenance was scheduled, though. They posted it on their website, on their Twitter, on their Facebook page.
Even if you are doing maintenance, there's no way that you should be having these server problems.
They're not having server problems. They shut the servers down so they can add the content.
Were you having issues during maintenance, or was this outside of maintenance?
This was outside maintenance.
So this is outside maintenance. Okay,
right.
So Ed still has a valid point that they should not have these freaking issues.
These problems. I
agree with you.
Like, if I pop in Destiny 1 for Xbox, I would still have several problems of getting kicked out. Like, I was trying to land back to the tower, was getting kicked out. Like, I couldn't even land there. I'm like, what the heck? I just popped the game in, played for 2 minutes, and I'm kicked off. But if I put in Gears of War 4, or if I play an Ubisoft game, the servers are completely fine.
Yeah. Battlefield 1. Yeah, probably okay.
We're still having issues.
Well, hey, at least it's not like Battlefield 4, man. God, that was a nightmare. And then when the problem was when they fixed everything, a lot of people jumped ship, but the game was awesome. Like, what they did to fix it was amazing. So I bought it on 360 because I still had a 360 at the time. And I'm sure I can find pictures in my Facebook timeline of me being stuck underwater. Like, or I'd be in a building and I'd be crouched down crawling, and all of a sudden I'm dropped through the building, under the ground, in the water, can't die. I'm trying to throw a grenade out to kill myself so that I can respawn somewhere. Can't do that. I got pictures where it goes all like neon, like purple and like green, and like the screen's like, it's crazy. But then I bought it on PS4 because it was like $12. I think it was $12 on a holiday sale, and I bought it, and it was a huge improvement over what they had before. So maybe Destiny 2 will be the same way. By the time I buy it, it'll actually be fixed.
I did see someone fall through the map in a Crucible match today. That was weird. I've never seen that in Destiny. And
really never. So they're usually pretty glitch free. Like something like that.
Glitch free is not the term I would use, but I've never seen anybody fall through the world like that. It was weird. Like somebody had shot him and he died. And he was like able to respond because he died, but like I saw his body fall through the world, and it was pretty weird. I've never seen that in Destiny. But the glitches in the raid were like the final boss. There's an area called the Shadow Realm, and then the Throne Room are the two major parts of this final boss fight. Right? You send three people into the Throne Room to kill ads, and you have like the people in the Shadow Realm are stuck behind this barrier, and the shadow face kind of like sucks you through, but you have to stay behind this barrier or you'll get sucked in and die. And like the barriers would pop up, but it wouldn't stop like one or two of our guys. And so like it was like people were falling off of this platform that they were standing on because the barriers weren't working correctly. And it's just really frustrating when you're doing
what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah.
You know you're playing the game right, and it's just really frustrating when everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, and the game mechanic just doesn't work because it's glitched out. And like
at that point, I would just stop doing what I was doing and do something else. Like I don't think I've ever had that issue with WoW, because that's kind of similar because it's an MMO. I don't think I've ever had a problem where the game, like I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, and the game was effing up. You know what I mean? So. I'm sure there are people like Lee or Becky, and I'm sure Jason can speak to that. But I mean, also, and if I did, I just didn't notice it, and I just went and ran another instance or did something else. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean, the problem was like the weekly reset is on Tuesday at 5 a.m. and we were trying to we had the checkpoint at the final boss, and we were trying to beat the raid before the reset.
Okay.
So like that's why we got on last night to do it. But I think like my theory is like this is the first time in a raid where like the trials of the raid switch places every week. Like that's the hook of this raid is like there's three trials and then the final boss. Well, the trials all switch places every week. So
it's different every week.
So it's different every week. And I think maybe because of that mechanic, like sometimes it gets a little glitchy because it's not a consistent thing every week. It changes all the time. So I don't know. That's just my theory, but I'm not a programmer. I'm not smart like that. So
it's also how old? It's only what?
2 or 3 weeks. I think this is the third week for the raid. So
okay. So then that would be third week for the raid, because the raid came out a week after it came out, correct?
Yeah.
And it was what, September 12th or whatever? Yeah, 12th maybe, I think.
I think that Wednesday.
Yeah, it came out like that 8th or something like that, or I don't know, whatever. Yeah, it came out like the first or second week. Okay.
Yeah. So that's
I can see we're still having issues ironing things out.
Yeah. But I mean, today when I got home, I did a lot of my milestones, and I finally hit 290 on my Titan. So,
congratulations!
Pretty happy with that. I also am almost like level 20 on my Hunter, which means I can start upgrading my power level. So that would be nice to get a second character going, so I can do the milestones 2 or 3 times a week instead of just once. But man, I was really enjoying this game until you hit that wall of 275, and then the grind just dips so hard, and it's just like, man, give me some other opportunities to get higher level gear besides these milestones. And like this week is the faction rally, which you pledge yourself to one of the 3 factions that were from Destiny 1, and then you kind of compete for points and stuff through different the different activities of the game, you earn reputation through them, and whatever faction gets the most reputation, you get that weapon for a reduced price if you're part of the faction, or if you're not, you have to buy it for like an extreme amount of money. So, but we'll see. This is only the first day of the faction rally, and I think during the weekend there's going to be something tied to it. So
now, I saw Jeff talking about it. Can you not switch factions? Is it just like you pick and you're done until the next?
There's a faction rally once a month, and you can change your faction at that time.
So, like, when you pick your faction and the rally starts, you have to wait till the next one to possibly switch to something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. That kind of stinks because you got to like weigh your options and figure out which one is the best.
Well, the thing is like they let you see the stats of the weapon before you choose the faction. So I'm pretty sure almost everybody picked Dead Orbit this time though, because they have a scout rifle that is pretty awesome. And then I think New Monarchy has a sidearm, which whatever, sidearms are not preferable. I'm sorry, they're just not. And then there's a pulse rifle from Future War called, I think. So I don't know, we'll see. I think everybody wants that scout rifle though, especially people who are doing the raid consistently, because there's a part in the raid where you need like that mid-ranged distance shot behind cover, and scout rifles work really well for that. But
nice.
But other than that, I played Project Octopath Traveler, the demo on Switch, and
how'd you like it?
It is going to be one of those games that makes people who are fans of old school Super Nintendo or PlayStation 1 JRPGs really consider buying a Switch.
Okay.
It is really good.
Yeah.
It is. I only played Primrose's campaign, which is like an hour and a half long. They give you 2 characters, and they give you if you want to do everything in that part of the campaign, I think somebody said they spent like 2.5 hours with it trying to get everything in that part of the campaign. And then
nice.
There's 8 different characters to choose from in this game, and they give you 2 characters to try out. So it's really good. It's really dark, a lot darker than I thought it was going to be, to be honest with you. Primrose is I'm going to spoil it. I don't care. It's the demo, and
spoilers, guys. Go ahead.
So if you want to skip spoilers, skip like maybe 5 minutes ahead. Spoilers for Octopath Traveler. So Primrose is part of this like a royal family, or like a very prestigious family, and she's hiding and watches her father get murdered.
Ooh. Okay.
And they show it, but it's more like I mean, it's pixel art. It's not real like gory or anything. But then there's like this little flash forward where she's seeking out revenge, and she's hiding out as a
dancer.
I would say, yeah, a dancer, but
it's like, yeah.
No, but they showed it in the trailer for the direct.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's not really an exotic dancer. I'd say more like burlesque or something. But like, she's part of like this almost like slave family where like she has to call the guy master, and he like talks to all the girls inappropriately and stuff, and he's basically their pimp, I'd say. So like basically each character has like their special power, and hers is allure, which like you're supposed to like, you can go up to anybody and kind of seduce them to come to this tavern where you dance and give you money. And it's really interesting. The main quest part of this game is you have to find the richest man in town and kind of flirt with him and have him come with you to the tavern to give you lots of money because you owe the master lots of money. And the voice acting is very realistic, I would say. But it's really is it
something
really
you had to turn down when you were playing sitting next to your wife?
No, she wasn't home while I was playing it. But the art style and the music and just everything in this game it's really kind of amazing that Square is doing this as a platform exclusive, as a pixel art 2D 3D game. Like the buildings look like pixel art, but they cast shadows. It's just this really cool art style. And even if you don't have a Switch, I would watch a YouTube video of it or something because it's really pretty. It's really really awesome. So, but that's really the other game I've been spending a lot of time with is that, and Mario plus Rabbids. But I mean, we've talked enough about that game on this show and multiple other shows. So, anyways,
what have you been playing?
Yeah,
been playing Metroid: Samus Returns for 3DS. Getting that game almost done. I think I've got like one more zone that I need to meet to get the final Metroid and beat the game. For Switch, Mario and Rabbids. I've been playing that. Been doing Destiny 2 on the Xbox One whenever it allows me to play. Really enjoying it. It is better than part 1, I will say. And yes, the server problems was whenever they decide to get that fixed. I'll probably be playing a little bit more of it. For PS4, about to jump back into Nier Automata. Got to finish the boys game. I can say this is not in my. I took it out of my type game or nominated game for Game of the Year. It does.
Brand.
Yes, I kind of. It's okay, but I kind of grew bored of it. Like it doesn't offer
the gameplay.
The game, pretty much the game itself.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm not saying that it's a game not to own for PlayStation 4, but it's a game that you just could buy on a budget title whenever it goes on sale. And if you like it, that's good. But other than that, it's just there's nothing about it that excites me anymore. I was like really hyped for this game, and then I'm just like, yeah, you are better than Mass Effect Andromeda, but you're nothing that I expected it to be. I thought it was gonna be like better. I mean, it is difficult at times, and I'm fine with that. But I still got like 3 more stories to play. But it did nothing for me, so I took it out as for my Game of the Year nomination. So Horizon still is like pretty much the only PS4 game at the moment for until I get Neo and play that because I do want to play Neo.
Yeah, you should probably wait for the collectors the game what the Game of the Year collection or not Game of the Year collection, but they have an Ultimate Collection coming out.
Yeah, I know
November in Japan, and then there's a physical edition, so it'll probably launch stateside at the same time. So
yeah, I know me and
everything for $60.
Yeah, I know me and you was talking about it, and then they had announced it, and I'm just like, I will be jumping back into Final Fantasy 12. I need to work on that.
Now, see, can that be? Now, see, that could be a personal Game of the Year, but can it be on a Game of the Year list because it's a remaster? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think remasters should get Game of the Year stuff. Like,
well, it's.
I mean,
I think it's fair game. I think it's fair game because
didn't it change some stuff?
Well, it's the Japanese international version that came out on PS2, which is the Zodiac Age, where they changed the kind of the way you level up in the job systems and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this game did technically already come out in Japan for PS2.
I think you can put it on because if you're putting Samus Returns on it, I think
but that's
everything
remake.
Is fair game.
That's a remake, though, not a remaster.
But the thing about it is that even though original version of that game exists, if we're anything that's a reimagine, remake, remaster, anything that's a if it's put on a list, then Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age could be put on the list.
Does that mean I can put Final Fantasy 9 on my Game of the Year list this year?
Pretty much, yeah.
You can put it on your Game of the List year. Yeah.
Because when it comes to Game of the Year, it's pretty much going to be the main thing is games that were released, but then we would be like games that's been released once. like master or anything connected to it. You know,
Yeah.
because like we even got because wasn't it like Overwatch or something that like there was like, or it was something for the game awards.
No, it was The
that-
Witcher where the expansion won RPG of the year.
Yeah,
it's
which
just
was
like-
ridiculous. That should not have won. That
Especially because like something else really big came out that year. That was
Dark Souls 3.
yeah, like something like that. Like, why would you give an expansion? Like, I understand it's like a big like expansion, but that doesn't mean it's a separate game. You have to have the original release
Because the industry was still jizzing their pants over The Witcher 3. That's
I mean,
why.
don't get me wrong, The Witcher is a good game, but like, man, like you can't give an expansion a game of the year. That's just dumb.
Right.
But
Because
like,
I think
what?
There was
I
some
think-
better expansions.
I think if a game came out that year, whether it's a remaster and it's your personal game of the year, there's not really any rules to this crap. This is all
Right.
arbitrary rules. You just kind of like,
Well, I mean, you can have like your list, and then if we were gonna have an
Right.
NGR radio list,
yeah,
then we
like
kind of should play by some rules. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
we
like
could
we're
be
gonna have a game of the year show. Like,
Yeah,
in
right.
December. And
Right.
like we'll set up a list, like a rules list, but like,
yeah,
I mean,
like for the like personally, my game of the it is between three: Nier Automata, Neo, but Horizon's got number one, and I think Neo's got two, and then Nier Automata has got three, and I'm still waiting to see if any of the indie games I'm waiting for are going to release this year, which they might release like one or two. So, you know,
I think a lot of people are like, it's either going to be Horizon or Zelda. I think that's like, any outlet you look at is like,
Xbox doesn't have a horse in that race. No. You're gonna put Halo Wars 2?
I think after Cuphead we'll see. Cuphead and Forza 7 we'll see. You know, because
I think I haven't played Cuphead yet. I know it's coming out on Friday of the week we record.
Right.
I think Cuphead's
it's coming out this Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, hot damn.
I think Cuphead's art direction is the most interesting part of that game. I know, like, I don't know. I feel like that game is going to be kind of disappointing to people. I just have this weird feeling that Cuphead's going to be really weirdly disappointing to people, except for that art style.
I don't think it's going to be disappointing to people. It's going to be. I think people who haven't grown up in that era of shoot 'em up games.
Well, I
have that experience, because the thing about it is just like how many young kids or teenagers talk about Contra, talk about treasure games, talk about Space Harrier, talk about Axelay for Super Nintendo, like the shoot 'em up genre. A lot of people who are in retro games will respect a lot of Cuphead. A lot of modern gamers who don't know anything about that genre, of course, it's not going to talk about it. Yeah, the art style is appealing, but you know, the first thing that's going to come out your mouth is, "Well, this game is too hard." Well, they're following the mechanics of
a baby mode,
old school. Yeah, old school shoot 'em up. Old school shoot 'em up, because there was a game called Alien Storm for Sega Genesis where the whole game was just a boss fight, and it's a treasure game that was hard. You know, so modern gamers of now haven't played anything like that.
Well, that's like, I mean, that's kind of like the people want to say Dark Souls kind of started a renaissance. Some people do, but when I was 7, 8 years old trying to play Zelda and all those games, they were hard. You didn't have anyone holding your hand.
Yeah, you look at Ghouls and Ghosts, like that game was freaking hard.
Right. The game is still hard.
You gotta figure shit out. And Dark Souls is just like, we're just going back to that. That's all we're going back to. You know what I mean? Yeah, granted, the bosses hit like, you know, like a freaking freight train and they have like insane health, but if you have patience, you can beat them. You know what I mean?
Like that's the thing about Dark Souls and stuff is like, it's not that they're necessarily hard. I just think like a lot of people go into and thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna like brute force my way through this,
Right.
and you can't. You have to be patient. You have to
I'm
learn
gonna play
enemy
it like
patterns. You have to learn all these different things, and then you grind your way to level up to be strong enough to fight as well. Like it's just a
Right.
multi-layered game, and like yeah,
Well,
okay, Dark Souls kicked my ass the first time I played it. Don't get me wrong, but like. Once you learn the patterns and the way that the systems work and everything, it's very almost puzzle based as opposed to like a straight up action game. You
I
just
mean, well, the thing about the Dark Souls genre is that it excludes fighters, anyone who's into a fighting game. Because if you play something like Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry,
or Neo,
that's slow. That's well, Neo's part of the Dark Souls genre.
You think?
Yeah,
I think
I think it's kind of like more towards the Ninja Gaiden.
I think it's the Dark Souls genre with the Ninja Gaiden kind of fast paced fighting.
But see, it's not combo based. Ninja Gaiden and like Dark and Devil May Cry, it's like it's fast paced because the combos are connecting and you're rolling around trying to keep a combo meter up. So you're treating it almost like Killer Instinct. So you're treating it as a fighter where
combos you may not have combos, but you have to keep your key pulsing and going at all times. So you're doing moves to make your key pulse, keep things going. You're chaining things together to do as much damage as you possibly can, but also get your key returned back to you as fast as you can. So it's not like I don't feel I agree with Corey as in like it's a Dark Souls type game with Ninja Gaiden more so in it than the other way around. Like it's more Ninja Gaiden than it is a Dark Souls game because the combat is very fast paced. You've got the different stances, so you can do different combos for different stances and different ways to pulse your key. So I think it is. I mean, it's almost like Dark Souls where you have to like make sure you're blocking and swinging and you don't swing too much. But
is it like fast?
Oh, dude, it's extremely fast. Like you can be
faster than Bloodborne. Like
Bloodborne is fast.
I haven't played it yet, but like my friend got Neo, and he got it because he likes Ninja Gaiden. He's never played a Dark Souls game or Bloodborne, and he got it because of Ninja Gaiden. And like I was watching him play it, and like that gameplay is like it's slower than Ninja Gaiden, but it looks like Ninja Gaiden. It looks like you're going in and you're trying to like hit when you can, and then the enemy like it still has that deliberateness of Dark Souls where like when you swing, you're swinging. Like you can't just dodge in the middle of a swing to cancel the animation out. But it still has that kind of fast paced action.
But is it like quick connecting? So like if you swing, you got like
it's like almost like if I swing at an enemy in front of me, it's like real fast. I mean, it also depends on what kind of weapon you're using. Because they've got hammers, they've got two-handed hammers, they got two-handed axes, and then they have the larger katanas. I can't remember what the names of them are, but they're
but it doesn't have like.
But you've got dual katanas, you've got a regular katana, so you got the dual short ones. You've got the one where it's like the sickle with the ball and chain on it. So like you have fast-moving weapons, but then if you really want to do damage, you can switch to a heavier hitting one. And spears. They've got spears. Even the spears move pretty fast. So like you have a lot of speed to the game.
But it doesn't have like light attack, light attack, heavy attack, where you got to balance between those two to make your combos.
Yes. Yeah. So you have a hard attack and you have a light attack, but then also you have your stances. So you have a highest stance, which is high attack power, low defense, mid stance, which is middle ground for both your attack and your defense, and then you have a low stance, which does more defense and less attack power. But also, like low stance, you would want to use that for stuff that's on the ground. Like you'll encounter enemies that crawl along the ground, and you like can only hit them with like maybe your first attack. When you hit your regular attack button, you hit it with the first attack, then maybe the third, and then the fifth. Whereas if you use the low attack stance, you're hitting them with every time you hit the attack button and they're in front of you, you're hitting them and taking life off. So there's like that balance where you got to figure out, okay, what does this enemy do? Like, how do they how can I get, like you were saying, my combos of regular attacks and strong attacks going into them to keep them stunned, and then pulse my key. And then also, like, the stamina in the game is awesome because if you run out of your key, you can't move. You can't move until your key meter fills up to a certain point. So, like, if you run out, I've died many a times. It's shameful to admit this, but I've died many a times where I've run out of key, and the enemy that I'm fighting in the game has killed me because I can't move. Like, I'm just standing there and you can't do anything. So you also have to be careful of that. So you got to balance your key and be able to do attacks. And then also you want to keep your key pulsing because as you level up, you get skill points, and you can use those for your different weapons. So you unlock skill points for your weapons. So you can unlock damage if you pulse at the right time. Your key, you have extra attack power for like the next 5-6 seconds.
So it feels like the added mechanic of punch out when you run out of hearts or something, and you get tired with the stamina, and then when you're reloading a gun from Gears of War, you get like extra bullets. It seems like that stuff was borrowed, because I think while looking at videos of Neo, it looked like a Dark Souls game, and I wasn't seeing a lot of people doing combos. So that's why I was just like, I added Neo to the Dark Souls genre, because I think the people who were just playing it didn't have that fast paced action of linking combos where I'm linking them, but I could
attacks. Like you're linking attacks to try and, you're doing like light, hard. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to link your attacks to get the most damage out of a certain enemy. So it might, you're probably right. Maybe it might be somewhere in the middle, where it's not just strong, regular strong attack, and it's not combos. It's somewhere in the middle where you're trying to link things together, but you don't necessarily have to make a combo. That's what I would say the system is like. But yeah, it's an awesome game. You'll like it when you pick it up. Yeah, the DLC does drop today. It dropped today, so the final DLC wasn't it 2 or 3 of them? It's 3. So there's 3 of them, and they're pretty meaty too. So this is the 3rd and last one, and well, they're probably not going to obviously not do anything else, because then they're going to release the collection and probably move on to Neo 2. Which would be smart on their part if they did it, if they were thinking of doing that. So.
Yeah, because Neo went through a lot of testing in Japan.
And here, too, we had 3 demos. We had the alpha and 2 betas.
I think there was one demo that I knew came here, but nobody talked about it. Like every time I listen to a podcast, it's mostly people talking about Neo, and they were in Japan. They were playing the Japanese version. So that's why I was just like, when people were talking about the game, they were talking about the Japanese, and that the responses to it helped shape what Neo is today. Like they was changing stuff.
Well, the responses in America helped shape it too. Like when they didn't have a system where if you picked up, so like you have elixirs in the game, which is like your healing potions. Like if you had too many elixirs in your inventory, if you had the max amount, they wouldn't go to your storehouse. So like people complain because I was playing the demo like Bloodborne. So like, my question was, why can't I pick up the extra and it goes to my inventory back at my storehouse, so that if I die, it auto, because that's how Bloodborne works. Like if you die, it auto refills your blood vials, so that you have the full amount to go back out there and try and get your blood echoes. So they changed that about the game. That's the biggest thing that I noticed that they've changed. I'm sure they've changed some other things like difficulty and whatnot, and they also changed the co-op. So like co-op used to be like you could just join anybody's game and have fun with them like you can Dark Souls. But then when the game came out, the person has to have beaten the level that they're helping you with for them to join you. So it's almost like someone has to play a couple levels ahead of you for them to come and help you with the game. So like you can't just straight up co-op it.
I think that's easier to co-op than Bloodborne, because like don't you got to have like some kind of bell in order to get?
Yeah, you gotta have a bell. I mean, the bells are easy to get, and a password helps you connect with people. So, I mean, you can connect with people pretty easily. I just think it's cooler that like, oh hey, I'm going to start the game. All right, well I'll start my character, and you both can play through the game almost at the same time. But like you do have to beat like each other's world. So like if I came into Bloodborne and play with you, and we beat the first boss, the cleric beast in your world, we would have to go through my world and beat it for me to progress with you through the game. Like you have to beat each other's worlds. Whereas this is just the person can't come and help you until they beat that world themselves, like that part of the game themselves. So it was kind of, I know a lot of people didn't like that, but the developers were just like, no, we're making it harder, making the game harder. So.
Well, that's why I wonder. I'm like, why a game like Bloodborne and Neo, and just like these Dark Soul games. I'm like, why would you need co-op for in the first place? If
you don't really need co-op.
I need co-op in Dark Souls and Bloodborne.
Okay, so Corey needs co-op. Like for Bloodborne, it's just a lot of fun to play the game with another person. It's a lot of fun to just to go through and
secretly one of PS4's best co-op.
Yeah, but
that's like, debatable.
We'll see. Like, no, it is. It is one of the best co-op games on PS4.
It's really fun to play with other people.
That's debatable.
You haven't played it co-op, so then you don't know. Anyways, but like Dark Souls is a little different with the co-op because you might be trying to do a heavy invadable area, and people just keep coming and ganking you. So it's like I don't need the help to like kill the boss. I just need the help to get to the boss, you know? And so you just summon your friends in, or whoever. You can summon anyone. It doesn't have to be your friends. You can summon whoever is in that area, and they'll come in and they can help you get to the boss. You know, because you gotta, like, people are assholes. They'll just go in, like, my cousin is sometimes an asshole. He'll just go and invade people's games and just kill people for the hell of it. And I mean, you know, that's part of the game. But, you know, there's people that are even more of an asshole than he is. Because, like, he plays with a certain kind of, like, code where he's not a complete... He'll invade you and kill and just invade people and kill them. But he has, like, a certain code where he's like, I won't... You know, like, I won't do this. I won't cheat them. I won't be cheap. You know, like, it's like a one-on-one fight. But then you have some people that just go in and they're like cheesy as hell, and they're assholes. And so that's where like the co-op can come in. And then also it's just awesome. Like, some of the bosses are just so cool to like fight with like 2 people or like multiple people, like 3 people. So
I just hate the camera, and I don't know. Bloodborne just...
You're not playing it right.
It's
What's wrong with the camera?
The camera's terrible. I hate that camera. Just like
do you lock on the targets?
Yeah, but even the camera's still bad in that at times. And I understand it's Ninja Gaiden's camera. Oh yes, it is. For me, not for you. For me, it's Ninja Guy's camera. Because there are some times where enemies will pop out from anywhere, and that's the same camera. That's the same thing that happens with Ninja Gaiden. That enemies just pop out of nowhere to attack you.
Well, yeah, they do that. They do that in Dark Souls too.
Well, yeah, but that's why I said it's a Ninja Gaiden camera for me. You know, I'm the kind of person that's just like, I want to see in my field of range who I need to deal with. And,
so I know there's like when you're going through a door and the camera's behind you, and all of a sudden someone comes out from the side to attack you. You want that camera to move. So see, the problem with your problem is the camera doesn't like auto turn. Because I know like Bloodborne's camera, you control it 100% unless you're locked on. Like it does not. Right. It does not, like, if you're getting attacked from the right side and your camera's facing, or the, you know, left side, and you're facing forward, it's not going to auto turn to that target. And I like that. I like the fact that the camera doesn't do the work for you. It like makes you pay attention to what the hell you're doing.
Well,
you know?
I mean, I think the thing about it is because a lot of people sometimes have problems multitasking. I don't have a problem with multitasking, but when I'm in a fight,
sounds like you do.
Well, I can't stand you, Moose.
I'm just saying.
But when I'm trying to focus on getting down an enemy's energy and stuff, and when I'm trying to focus on something, because my mind is still in the fight, the camera being part of that focus is never on it, because I have been used to games that the camera just does its own and I don't have to bother with the camera.
See, that's your problem.
Because
You're too used to camera easy mode.
Well, no. I think I'm used to being in a arena style game like Bayonetta 2 or like DMC, where I can see my enemies and I don't have to worry about the camera because I'm focused on attacking the enemy, planning my strategy out better, and executing.
But I feel like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta are more so like the game is moving around, like moving through your character, and your character's not moving through the environment because the enemies are going to be there no matter what, and they're just feeding them to you for you to have something to do. Kind of like God of War. Like Corey was talking about, like you can't go into Bloodborne or Dark Souls and play it. You know, you can't just go in there and beast mode through everything because you're going to get owned. Like you can't just play it like God of War and just hack and slash at everything.
But that's why I said it feels like the Dark Souls genre excludes fighters, because if you look at Bayonetta and you look at DMC, they feel like fighting games. That's why I said like they're dialed in combos. That's why I kind of connected them to like Killer Instinct, where when you play Killer Instinct, you're fighting to get the most out of it. You had to combine your combos, and that's how those games feel. And I come to Bloodborne, I gotta separate myself from that. I have to turn the fighting mode and connect the combos off because it doesn't do anything like that. It's a deeper game mechanic that you have to learn and study to be able to progress through the game. Mm-hmm. Because if you end up going to Bloodborne like it's DMC, like you said, you're going to get killed because there's no that stamina bar is there so that you can't keep attacking, so that you can't do link combos and stuff like that. You literally have to watch it, because if you don't,
that's when you use your upgrade points for stamina, so you can
keep attacking.
Yeah, like when you're using the Kirk hammer and in Bloodborne, you start leveling up. You can get 2 heavy swings in and a dodge when you level all the way up to like put 40 points into that stamina.
Well, that's the role playing game mechanic of it.
Yeah. It is. I see what you're saying.
So,
yeah. Man, I thought Matt was gone. I didn't know we'd be talking about Dark Souls and Bloodborne for 20 minutes.
Well, because the only reason why I talk about Bloodborne is just, and it is what it is. I guess it's a game that I was happy to get. Like I said, I don't think it's the best game for co-op. I think that's, like I said, I think that's debatable.
Now wait a second. Have you co-opted with it? Have you co-opted with it?
I don't.
Then you can't make that statement. That's like voting for a beer as a good beer and you haven't tasted it yet. You can't make that statement if you haven't co-opted.
I think because when it comes to co-op games, I like I said, sometimes I play better. And maybe
it just makes you think differently about that aspect, though, because it's not going to be like Gears of War, where like, hey Ed, are you online? We're just going to jump into Gears and start playing. Like there's a mechanic to the co-op as well, but like once you learn it and understand the co-op,
it's pretty easy.
Well, but I mean, like once like you beat a boss and then you leave, like your partner leaves the game and you have to get through the next section before you can ring your bell again, or before they can come back and stuff like that.
But like I said, I don't think it's the best, because there's different co-op mechanics in different genres of games for PlayStation 4, I should say, and depending on what genre that you love to play, that co-op could be for you. that co-op, you could say that, well, this is the best co-op to be on PlayStation 4. And to say that Bloodborne is like the greatest on PS4.
Did we say greatest? Did you say
I said it's secretly
the
one of
best.
the better.
Oh, it's secretly one of the better co-ops. I'll agree with that statement. I'm not saying it's the best co-op.
Well,
So
that's what it's
I back you up, Ed, with saying that it's not the best co-op, but it's secretly one of the greatest. Like, it deserved, if you had to make a top 10 co-op, best co-op games,
it'd probably come in on that bottom rung.
Yeah,
maybe
it should
closer to mid.
Yeah.
I think it's just really fun.
think
When I played with Matt, or like Matt and Moose, or Matt and somebody else that Matt's just like, hey, come in here, we're playing. Like, when you get like 2 or 3 people in there and you're just like kind of taking down these giant bosses, it's cool. It's fun to see. And then Matt forgets that like his power isn't as high as it should be because he's in my game and not his, and he dies like 3 seconds into the boss fight.
Dang.
And then I'm hiding behind a pillar because like the boss scales to the 3 people and I'm the only one left alive. And I'm like,
Yeah, I love when that would happen. Like, we co-opted together, and he just like, we'd get into a boss fight, and he would like through no fault of his own, because sometimes the bosses in Bloodborne, like, they have certain patterns that are attacking, and then some of them will have like a one hit type thing, or something will not go right, and you'll just die instantly. And I've watched him die through no fault of his own multiple times, and I'm left with like 3/4 of a boss's life left, and like 2 of them I was able to kill by myself. But I was just like, I think it was Amygdala and might have been Rom maybe or something. But it was just like the first time I played him, I'm just like thanks, Matt.
I know for me, like the best co-op that I have had is like Resident Evil 5 and like Borderlands 2. Like playing with my friend and just laughing. And Saints Row 3. I don't know why the craziness in that game, but co-oping in Saints Row 3 is hilarious.
I would have to say, if I had to pick my favorite, that could be our topic of the show. My favorite co-op game on PS4, it's definitely Helldivers. Like Bloodborne comes in a close second, and then Dark Souls 3 would probably be third. But Helldivers is so much fun co-op, especially because there's friendly fire.
Yeah,
so
I've always wanted to play Helldivers, and I just never it's been sitting on my PS4 for like a year.
Let's do it.
Actually, like 2 years, probably like 2 years, because it was free that 1 month for PS Plus.
Yeah, it was.
And I downloaded it because it had it included like a lot of the DLC, or most of it, or all of it almost, or something. And like I tried to play it by myself, and there's like really weird mechanics in that game where like, yeah, there's friendly fire, but there's also the reload mechanic where like you need to use all your bullets, because if you reload with half a magazine, you lose that half a magazine.
You lose those bullets. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Or like, it's a very interesting game that I've always wanted to play, and I just never have. And like, it's the thing about Helldivers 2 is like, it's not just the co-op experience you have, it's the stories that come out of it, where like I hear people say like, oh, we were playing Helldivers and this like one of the ships landed, like their team, somebody's team was waiting for like the dropship to come pick them up, and it landed on all of them and they died, and they lost the mission because of, like the ship ran them over that was supposed to end the mission, and they all died and had to play it again.
Yeah, I love Frank. We call it the Penny Arcade named him Frank. They did it. Just look it up. Helldivers Penny Arcade comic, and it's pretty hilarious because he just lands. He doesn't care if you're underneath him or anything like that. And so, like, there's parts where like you'll be playing with another person, and so you can have open public matches, or you can have like closed. And so I'll be playing. Sometimes I'd be playing with Matt, with Infinite, and then I'll be playing with Captain Canada, and then Justin will join our game because he's a friend of mine, and I allow friends to come in, and it'll just say he joins the game, and he'll drop into the game and kill one of us because we're not expecting him to come into the game. And so, I mean, it's just that game was so much fun. That was my game of 2015, but it is a lot of fun co-op.
Is it like comedic?
Oh yeah,
unintentional comedic.
Oh
comedy.
Yeah, big time. because like you'll call in a mech, and then all of a sudden like somebody else will call in a stratagem, and it'll just blow up your mech, and you're like, what the heck? Wait, why you got to throw it on top of my mech? And then people are dying, so you're running around the world, and then Infinite always does his infamous like 10-minute run around the map before he calls anybody in, because you could, as long as somebody's alive, the mission doesn't end because you could always call people in. It just keeps a count of your deaths, and so like you're just moving through it and trying to do missions and just like he'll just run around. He'll do a couple spins of his cape and then he'll run off, do something. He'll be picking up research points and stuff like that, samples which convert to research points, which help you level up. And it's just like, man, could you just call us back in yet? Or like, if you're gonna do this for a while, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna go make a sandwich or grab another.
I might have to pick this game up. I know you talk a lot about it, Moves, Helldivers, but I haven't.
Did you not get it when it was free?
I didn't have a PS4 at that time when it came out.
All right. Well, if you get it, let us know, man. A lot of us jump back into it from time to time to play the heck out of it.
I guess unintentional comedy in co-op or in just video games in general, it's just it makes the game fun.
we had one time when Gideon joined us and we were playing and we were doing like a level, so the planets have difficulty levels, and we were doing like a level 10 planet, and we just wanted to complete the planet, so we were going to do an escort mission. Well, you can either do the escort mission or you have to escort scientists from a ship, back to wherever the bunker or whatever. Well, you could either escort them back and they can try dying on the way back, or you could just be like, you know what, we'll fail this mission because whatever. So you can just kill the scientists. So like he drops in and we're like, 3 of us are like around the scientists, just like shooting our guns at them, throwing grenades to like, because once they take enough damage, they fall on their backs or whatever, and then you can't shoot at them because your guns are shooting over them. So you have to like throw a grenade down to like blow them up. And he's like, at least fucking attempt. He's like, can we at least fucking attempt the mission? I'm like, no. I'm like, we're just trying to beat the planet. We're like trying to beat the planet to get through this. So it's just we've had some really good moments with that, and Philip shooting Keel in the back of the head with a rocket because he stole it or whatever. He stole his jetpack. So so you're just like boom. It's just like, oh, we do that all the time. Like if someone would be be pissing us off, like we would shoot or they would steal our stratagem. Like they'd go up and steal so like you also get like a satchel of like C4 explosives. So someone would go up and steal that, and you'd be like, mother trucker, so you could shoot them and then take it back from them, and then it just turns into like killing each other like over and over. It'd be like, are we done? And then somebody has to be like, are we done? Are we done, guys? Can we beat the planet? So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Helldivers is good stuff.
My friend was driving the airplane in Saints Row the Third, and then just hopped out, and I'm just like, "Are you serious?" And the reason he did that because it was about to crash into a building. He jumped out and he crashed, and I died. And I'm like, "Oh, damn!"
And they don't say anything. People do that in Battlefield 1 all the time. Like you'll just be flying along, and all of a sudden the plane just like tilts down. And you're just like, and then you look on the screen and you're like the only person in the occupancy of the plane. You're like, I better get out of here,
My friend was drunk one day, and so we're in the mission. We're doing the mission. He fell asleep drunk. I'm like, really? And I'm talking to him. I'm just like, oh, passed out drunk, and I'm like, oh, dang it. To the third, I wish they would remake that for PS4.
Was 4 worse or better or worse?
No, not for the third.
Yeah,
the fourth one was the superheroes one. The third one was.
But what I'm saying is, did you like 3 more than 4?
Yes,
as a co-op experience. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why you would want it remade. Okay, that makes sense.
because it's fun going into the town that's run with zombies, and you can't die because there's a point like when you level up, you go where you have like infinite energy there, but you can also have like infinite guns. So it's good to go in just blowing folks up and just like shooting them, and you sometimes feel like you just want to cut on some rock music with your friend and just like act like you're in that slow action hero or something. It just be like, this is so fun.
Nice. Go on a killing spree. That's always fun.
Oh, but Moose, what are you playing? I'm sorry, I threw the topic off.
Neo and Horizon. I jumped back into Horizon to get the last 2 trophies to get 100%. They have a trophy for completing the game on New Game Plus, and then they have a trophy for beating it on Ultra Hard mode. So I'm doing a playthrough in New Game Plus that's on Ultra Hard mode to get the trophy.
That's nice. You can get them both at the same time.
Yeah, you get them both at the same time, so you can piggyback it. So it's nice. But I was telling Corey before the show, like, try not to do any side missions. I don't need any more points to level up. I think it has like a ghost leveling type system. Like you still earn experience, and it kind of goes to a level, but you don't. I don't really see any benefits you get out of it. So I've been skipping side stuff and just mainly doing main story so that I can, like I said, just get the 2 trophies and then be done with playing it on Ultra Hard mode. But I was also telling Corey, like, the game, it's like a different game now because you have to really strategize to play the game. You can't just use the same ammo, the same bow and arrow, like, all the time. Like, you have to really utilize your entire arsenal. So you're kind of moving at a little bit of a slower pace. So it's just sometimes I'll die and I'll just be like, for God's sakes, the heck's going on here? But I don't feel like Ultra Hard mode is cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you turn up a difficulty, you're like, okay, the game's just being cheap now. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel it's being cheap. I feel like it's a lot like, you know, like Super Meat Boy, like you die because you screwed up. Like Dark Souls, I die. Well, sometimes, you know, the game just gets you, but like I find that, you know, I die in Horizon just because it's my fault. You know what I mean? Like I just did something stupid, or I didn't plan enough, did lay down enough trip lines, I didn't put down enough traps to like compensate for, like I was telling Corey, like Sawtooth, you take on a Sawtooth, you want to put trip lines down, get him to come through the trip lines, or if he jumps over the trip lines, you want to make sure you have traps down so he jumps into the traps, you know, and takes like heavy damage. Because usually like on regular mode, you could just hit him with a bunch of Terror Blast arrows and then just start wailing on him with the piercing shot for the sharpshooter bow. And you could get him down pretty good, and you could survive a lot of attacks from him. But usually on Ultra Hard mode, it's like 3, maybe 4 solid hits from him and you're dead. Whereas then you don't even have to worry about getting hit by him. You know what I mean? You can roll into their attacks. But
I think once because like I didn't really even use traps or the trip line and the trip caster in the regular one. I usually just would hide in the red grass, check out the aerospace, hack them, and let them fight on their own. It's just like skedaddle.
So you can do that too, yeah, that's true. But see, like in New Game Plus, you have to relearn all the hacking. So you have to go do the cauldrons to relearn all the hacking. And I'm just like, I love the cauldrons. The cauldrons were a lot of fun, but I'm like, I just want to get the 2 trophies and call it a day. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm not going to do cauldrons. I don't need to hack everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I like my favorite thing to do was like, okay, I see the bellowbacks, like that up in the snow area up in the upper left. There's like a bellowback, and then there's some like they're not sawtooth, but the ravagers. I think the smaller ones.
Okay, yeah. Those are the ravagers, and then there's scavengers as well.
Yeah, the scavengers are the ones that go like the stealth ones, but these are just like the ravagers. So like, I would lay down a bunch of like trip lines and then set a trap in between each trip line, and then I would shoot them, and I would watch them run towards me, and I'd kind of build this barrier of trip lines in front of me. So like, yeah, if they come at me, they're going to jump, but if they're going to miss and they're going to hit a trap, or they're going to hit another trip line and fall backwards into this long line of trip lines, and I would just watch this chaos ensue. It was, I like the amount of things you can do in that game. It's very, It's really good. I love Horizon. I can't wait for this DLC. It's going to be so good.
I gotta get the DLC.
What I loved about the game was like the slow motion, like when you would shoot them with a terror blast, and then you could just watch in slow motion, like as all the pieces just like blow off the robots. Like that was pretty cool. But then also with the trip caster, what I like doing is if they were attacking you, instead of making them run through a trip line, like putting a line down and making them run through it, I would shoot next to them, and then the next time I'd shot, the trip line would go through them and trip itself before it was even hit into the ground and blow up. So like I would be trying to do that on like all the enemies. Like instead of trying to like whistle and get them to come over, I'd just be like, I'm ready to start this fight, you know?
Yeah, I did that. I did that a little bit in the cauldron where you first fight the Thunderjaw, where like, okay, I would set a trip mine here. When he would charge, I'd shoot one. I'd literally shoot one right across his feet, and it would blow up as he was running at me.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you, though. There's so much you can do in that game with a lot of stuff. So it's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite game of the year. So.
Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely like in the top 2-3-ish. Like I'm still waiting for both DLCs for Zelda and Horizon to make my final decision, but like
I've made my decision. I think Horizon is PlayStation 4's game of the year.
I think I would go out and argue and say that I would go out and argue and say that Horizon's PlayStation 4's best exclusive. Like I mean it's really close.
It beats Uncharted 4.
Oh,
for me personally, it beats Uncharted 4. I know some people would say Bloodborne.
I would say personally, I would say Bloodborne, but see, Bloodborne's not as accessible as Horizon. So that's why it's not going to be on the top of a lot of people's lists. But see, like a lot of people again don't have the patience for Bloodborne, so that's that's the problem. But anyways,
Bloodborne, I think Bloodborne is like once you really learn what the game is about and the mechanics of the game, like Bloodborne
you appreciate more.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. You appreciate like it has that, oh man, I feel so accomplished because I learned what to do here and I did it on my own or with someone. But like you have that extra sense of accomplishment because like you go in not knowing what to do. It's the same thing. It's similar to like kind of how I feel with the Destiny raids, where like you go in blind, not knowing what to do, but then once you figure it out and everybody's on the same page, and like in Bloodborne, when you're on that, okay, I know what to do here, and you dodge the right way and you get a couple good swipes in, and then you get that last final swipe in before you dodge out of the way when someone uses an attack, like it just feels so good to know like what you're doing.
Yeah,
I would give it to Sony that they actually got 5 first-party exclusives that makes you want to buy a PlayStation 4. And I don't know if you guys would agree with this, but for me personally, I would say like Horizon, Uncharted 4, Bloodborne. For me, The Last Guardian is one of them. Mm-hmm. And not Crash Bandicoot. Which was
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I think a lot of people enjoy Ratchet and Clank, but I would say Second Son.
Mm-hmm. I really liked Infamous a lot. Like
Infamous.
I don't think it's as good as Infamous 2 or but I really, really enjoyed Second Son. I don't know. I know I liked it probably a lot more than people like the internet liked it, but I really miss that franchise. I wish there would be another Infamous. I just think that game was really, really good. I like the power. The powers felt good. Traversing through the world felt good. I think First Light was a little bit more polished and more focused, and I actually liked First Light a little bit better than Second Son, which was like the standalone DLC, and it was free on PS Plus at one point. But
it was. Well, whatchamacallit is for this month.
Yeah, Second Son is
October. Second Son. Yeah.
So
October.
I think because a lot of people are waiting for Sucker Punch's next game, and they can do But I wonder what would happen if Sony gave them the order to fix it, like to make the order part 2. And
see, I wouldn't want them to do that. I think I can handle order 2. I think they could do a good job at building upon what they had, like the combat and all that stuff. Yeah, like I think they can build on what they've already done. So Sony doesn't need to give the order to somebody else. It would be cool if Sucker Punch would do it, but they already got their next game in the works. Shuhei's played it like twice now. Well, probably more than twice, but twice that you've stated.
But that's got to be a PSX.
They haven't announced it yet.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's probably PSX E3 next year at the latest. I have a feeling it'll be a PSX announcement because it's been how long since 2? It's been Infamous Second Son. Second Son came out
4 years at this point.
2014.
Yeah,
so we're getting to 3 years. So if
was it like the following year that the PS4 came out?
Like the PS4 came out in PS4 came out in 2013, right?
Yeah,
and it was a launch window title, and I think it was February of that next year, and then Bloodborne was February of 2015 or March of 2015. Yeah. So it's been a while, so they could announce it at PSX and then maybe push it to come out in 2019 or something. You know, it could be their spring game for 2019. Because Death Stranding, if Death Stranding or Last of Us 2 is anywhere near close to coming out in 2019, they're not going to release anything in the fall except a bad game, you know?
They need to get Days Gone out way before they start showing more Last of Us 2.
I agree.
I think Days Gone is going to be in May. That feels like I think it's a good game to get out in May before we get into the summer games.
God of War will be March, I'm sure.
Right, because Sony got a lot of stuff and third-party stuff packed for the first spring quarter.
Don't you think Red Dead Redemption 2 would be May? When do you think that's going to come out?
Yeah,
they're going to do that fall.
No,
that won't be fall.
Rockstar owns that May slot, April, May, man. Everything,
he's right.
Everything except for GTA 5 that they've put out has been in April or May.
I think they're
GTA 3, Vice City 4, the expansions for 4, Red Dead 1, Red Dead Redemption 1 came out in April or May.
Well, I think because it's too packed for the first half.
I think maybe August.
I think September.
Because you think they push? I could see them pushing it out for more polish.
Right, because
do you think if they launched it, they're going to launch right away with a, Westworld type online gameplay feature, kind of like GTA Online? Do you think they'll just launch it right away?
I bet it'll be like a week. I think it'll be like a week or two.
Because wasn't GTA Online like a month after?
It was like 2 or 3 weeks after GTA 5. Yeah.
I think they're trying to build it up, and depending if Sony got the exclusive for Red Dead, then I could see it being released earlier, like in August or something, because Sony's going to push that game for their.
Well, I think they have like an exclusive content deal with them, don't they, or something?
Yeah, it's
like the marketing deal. They have the marketing deal.
Shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Sony has the marketing deal, but I think Rockstar has all the say of when that game comes out. And they're just you know what? We're going to put it out when it's ready. And Sony, you can go and screw yourself if you try to push it anywhere.
I think Sony would get its marketing, but I think more people will be willing to buy it if it comes announced for Switch. And only reason why I say that is that people are kind of blown away that, getting a Wolfenstein, even though they're getting Wolfenstein 2 next year, to get that kind of big support from a Western third party. And if Rockstar is going to test it with LA Noire and it does good on Switch, I think if they do announce something big as Red Dead, like they'll push Red Dead later for Switch than they would for Sony for PS4.
I think here's the thing about the Switch version though. I do not think if Red Dead 2 would come to Switch, I don't think it would come feature complete. I don't think the online mode would be there.
I think people would be fine with that. I think just that announcement.
Yeah, but see, the people that buy Rockstar games are like, yeah, I'm sure we'll all buy Red Dead, but like a lot of people that buy Rockstar games buy like 2 or 3 games a year, and it's Call of Duty, Madden, and GTA. Like those are the games they buy, and they like that audience already has the platform. They're going to buy those games on. They're not us.
GTA, they buying it for the cheats. They're buying it for that open world gameplay. Once they put that cheat code in,
I think a lot of them are buying it now for online. Like online has so much content. They've added so much to GTA Online, to the fact that like, you know, they've made their money on the box copy, and like they've made so much money that they're giving you all this content for free. And yeah, I know they're being supplemented by those shark cards and whatever, but like, I don't know.
I think people are more attracted to the online feature on PC before they did the whole modding thing, because when you can mod the online stuff, that has a more better value for players who are.
Yeah, but they've been cracking down on the online mods. Like they are allowing you to do the single player stuff, but the online mods, they affect gameplay. So they've been really cracking down on that. So like
people, I still think though a lot of people still play it. I'd like to see the numbers on Xbox and PS4 versus PC as far as how many people are playing it. Yeah. I still think people are playing a lot of it on PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah,
it's the last great game that they got, and so that's all they have until they can, you know.
I mean, that's all they need until like games, that's all they need until GTA 6 or whatever.
But see, I think a lot of people are forgiving of Rockstar. You know, a lot of people know how I feel about their games and stuff. I don't think their games are very polished. Like, I think the only game that's really polished from Rockstar is Max Payne 3.
Polished in what way?
We had this discussion the other day on Arsenal X, where like their open worlds and stuff are great playgrounds, but like. And it's been so long since I played GTA 5. I didn't even play much of GTA 5. I'm basing this off my experience with GTA 4, where like getting into cover and like the third person shooting mechanics were kind of not as great as Gears of War. Like and like I know I'm not expecting it to be that good, but like even moving from Mass Effect 2 to that, or Mass Effect or Gears or something.
I agree with you. Their controls are really. It's a game. I talked about it with Tim when they were on NGP, where like it's like The Last of Us controls were different just to be different. L1 is sprint. Why is L1 sprint? Like sprint is always a face button, you know, a face button. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like GTA's controls for third-person shooting, they're definitely a lot better in 5. A hell of a lot better in 5.
Yes, that I agree.
They are better in 5, but I feel like they're somewhat different just to be different. And you probably haven't played it in first-person mode yet, Corey, but first-person mode is pretty cool. Like, it's a lot of fun. I feel like it's the first. A lot of people, you know, are like, oh, what can you do with first person? What can you do with first person? Like, when you roll in that game, the camera actually rolls. So, like, you're running and you're rolling to cover, or, you know, like when you are walking down the street, you're not even in combat, and you accidentally bump shoulders with somebody, like the camera reels back, you know, like it reacts to like what you're doing. And there's bobbing, like your head bobs as you're walking. And so like these little touches to the gameplay I like, but I agree with you. Like they could use some polish on the controls. Like their controls do need polish, but I feel everything else is polished.
I know they took some people from like Epic. Rockstar. I was reading, because like I am thoroughly interested in Red Dead 2. Like as much as like I didn't really think that it was running on GTA 4's engine. Like it was a little bit more polished than GTA 4, but like I know they've got some guys from old Epic, and I know they've got some guys from BioWare. They hired onto their team a couple years ago before Red Dead was announced, that studio. So like I think they're putting the right pieces in place to make a more polished shooting mechanic, and like, I'm interested to see how Red Dead 2 works, because the theory is like it's going to be based around like train heists or stuff like that.
Robbery.
Yeah,
good book.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about their story and their physics, because Rockstar is terrible at that. Like, I view it as a logical sense. Like with Grand Theft Auto 5, if I'm a car thief and I've been doing this for years, why do I need a role-play game mechanic to drive? Why do I know how to fly a helicopter? Well, because your controls are terrible, I can't really control a helicopter, so I gotta do an RPG mechanic to still play terrible controls. Like, there's logical
just to
stuff.
give you that gameplay mechanic. It's the same thing as like Mass Effect 1, right? Where like you're supposed to be this great soldier in the space military or whatever, but like the first time you try to snipe someone, the camera's like, whoa. Oh, it's just to give you that sense of progression.
Right, because it's an RPG. A lot of people hated that, and you had to put points in sniping to make your sniping better, or you just had to do the doctor cheat and get a lot of money and buy the Spectre weapons so that you can snipe people easily.
Yeah.
But anyways, I agree with you. You have to build it into the game a little bit,
Yeah, it's one of those like lousy mechanics that they feel like they have to put in there just to make you feel like you have a sense of progression, and like, I don't know.
I will understand that if I'm the driver in the game, I wouldn't put an RPG mechanic for my character. I would rather him put it into guns. Like, he could drive, but he can't really shoot. He has an eye.
What's his name? What the heck's his name?
CJ?
Franklin. Yeah, Franklin can't shoot worth shit. And in fact, one of the missions, Michael's like, because I played it recently, Michael's like, you need to go to a shoot. He's like, go to a shooting range. He's like, you did all right, kid, but you need to go to a shooting range, because Michael has the slowdown mechanic of Max Payne, and then Vincent's got the does more damage, takes less damage, and then Franklin's got the driving. So, and I agree with you. I think the way they can improve on that is in Red Dead Redemption 2 is if like certain people had certain skills, they were maxed out for that skill. So Franklin should be maxed out for driving and can level up other things. Michael's maxed out for like shooting, and then Vincent's maxed out for flying. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where they can like be like, you are the best at this for this character in the game, but you still need to work on this. Like, you could still have the RPG element. I see what you're saying, and I think that would be the best like meeting of the two.
Another big problem that I had was in Grand Theft Auto 5 is like when you're playing the back character, I think is what Marcus is his name, or is it or something like that. Wherever the black character is,
Franklin.
His annoying friend should have been killed at the almost.
Lamar. He's almost as annoying as Roman. I love Roman from 4.
But this is the problem. Is that you have this AI character being annoying to you and making these comments. Well, how about you get into the driver's seat so I could be able to shoot this motorcycle? Because you mix the driving mechanic with the shooting mechanic. I can't see the road. So now, because of your bad game physics, I'm crashing into cars. One time I hit a small little bump hill, landed down, and it blew up my whole car. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like this stuff doesn't make sense, and and you put me into the mode where I have to move the camera to hit the motorcycle, the cyclist, but that camera takes my focus off the road.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it just didn't make sense.
Ed, you need to get good.
It makes like,
I literally beat let me tell you, I literally beat Grand Theft Auto 5 within 2 weeks. Like I beat the game. 3 points I think was like really stupid. Like, if I was Rockstar, I would have never had the crazy person ever join your gang again. And now he's the antagonist trying to ruin your missions and kill you because he found out the truth. Okay, he's crazy and ready to do all this crazy mess to other enemies. But then when it comes to Michael, like he act like nothing ever happened. He's just like, well, I'll continue doing missions with you. I don't trust you, but I'll like that don't make no sense.
Yeah, like he would be like, I'm not gonna talk to you ever again. Like that's like we mentioned Infamous Second Son. Like you can play as a good person or a bad person. And I got completely disconnected from the story playing as a bad person because I'm like, if I were these people in his life, I would be like, fuck you. You can do this on your own. I'm not helping you. You know, because then they would not be able. But the problem is because it's built into the story and you have to beat the game, those people just have to take a big giant bite out of the shit sandwich that you deal to them as NPCs and keep helping you. And it's like the only reason they're helping you is because they're breaking the fourth wall and helping the player get through the game, not the actual, you know what I mean? Like it's just, it's ridiculous because Lamar, I want to put a bullet in his head. When I start that game up and play a new game every time, I'm like, I just want to kill you. I want you to die. You're annoying and I hate you. You know what I mean? And Franklin's always like, you're such a punk ass bitch. And all of a sudden it's like, walk away. Just walk away from the guy. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't even want to know who you are anymore. So
I think that's why I hold Sleeping Dogs up to when it comes to open world games like GTA. I think I hold Sleeping Dogs as like #1 because they got the fighting right. The story is great. Like the story makes sense. Like everything connects and flows well. The driving is easier, and I like some of the side missions where the AI is driving you, and all you have to do is shoot. You don't have to worry about driving and stuff. Like they make stuff easier for you to be able to do the missions and stuff. And I really like the main character in Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs is like super underrated. I wish like I feel like that game could have been something really special if they made like a sequel that was like more polished, more fleshed out, because like the fighting mechanic, like even the melee mechanics in that game are better. Like I don't know, I feel like that game had a lot of good things going for it and people just blew it off because they thought it was just this weird GTA clone, and like that kind of sucks because now that studio's dead.
Yeah, they were trying to make an MMO and it didn't work.
Yeah.
I feel like if they like Red Dead Redemption 2, I didn't like how when you play Grand Theft Auto 5, they locked you into one or the other. Oh, this is a Michael mission, so you can't switch to somebody else. So like if you're doing like if you're just out, you know, hanging out, like doing a regular mission that just like a story mission that isn't dealing with one of the three, you could switch pretty frequently. Like there's spoilers for whoever hasn't played GTA 5, but there's the bank heist one where you're all geared up and bulletproof armor with the miniguns. You could switch between the three people to be able to handle that mission, you know. And same with the first one where you got to steal the bearer bonds. You got Vincent up on top shooting with the rocket launcher. Franklin and Michael are down, you know, with their assault rifles. You know, so you can switch to who you want to like try and help the other person take them out. I would love to see in Red Dead Redemption 2 where it's like you can switch no matter what. You know what I mean? Like you're in a story, and like you said, you know, you might be riding, let's say a coach. You're riding on a horse and buggy, and you're driving because you're trying to get to where you're going. All of a sudden, some hillbilly hicks come riding up, and they wanna kill you. And so you're like, well, I don't want to shoot and drive at the same time, so I'm just going to switch over to the guy riding shotgun who is an NPC AI and just switch over to them. Or if the AI is good enough to shoot and kill him, you just keep driving along. You know what I mean? Like I think that would be a huge improvement to their switching mechanics. And I mean, you know, it's only one game that they had it. They've only had it in Grand Theft Auto 5. It's got its pluses and minuses. I think it's better than what it could have been, and I think it does a pretty good job, but they can definitely improve upon it for Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, if they are going to have multiple characters like they did Grand Theft Auto 5, which I bet they'll probably go that route now, because I think a lot of people like that about Grand Theft Auto 5, was that it had multiple people.
It's probably going to be like, I feel like it's going to be like a 4-player co-op. This story, and I could understand that, like that would make sense to do that game for Red Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See Thursday when they announce it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
People will already be talking about it by the time this episode comes out. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, we'll probably cover it on one of our other shows, maybe somewhere.
Yeah, I'll cover it on Nerds Gone Platinum next week because we don't record until after it comes out. After they announce it, but we'll probably talk about it.
Did you see TGS? Did you see the PlayStation press conference?
I didn't. I saw the news coming out of it. I didn't watch any of it. My favorite thing out of it was Dragon's Crown Pro for the PlayStation 4, which is going to be awesome. And because I own it on Vita and I don't have it on PlayStation 4, and the fact that you can crossplay is going to be awesome.
Oh, you can crossplay with the Vita?
I do want to.
Oh yeah. So if you have Dragon's Crown, you can crossplay on all three.
Oh wow!
So, you can take it. You can take your save from PS3 to Vita to PS4. Like they had like the Holy Trinity.
That's awesome.
On the screen. So
I need to pick it up.
Maybe they should crossplay with some other consoles.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean that would be a great. See, when that game comes out, that would be my top 5 for best co-op games on PS4. Just because it's a lot of fun. Me and my old roommate, before my wife moved in, when we were dating, like we played the hell out of that on PlayStation 3. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Pick it up for PS4.
I'll probably pick it up for that, and then I have a PS3, but it's mainly my Demon Souls and Dark Souls machine. I don't really have a lot else on it, and I guess my Mass Effect machine because. Damn you, Andromeda!
Well, like there's a lot on like a lot of the first party stuff that's worth playing on PS3 is already on PS4 as well. So like the only things I can think of are like those first 2 Ratchet and Clank games aren't on PS4, and the Infamous games aren't on PS4, and like the old like PS2, PSP God of War games aren't. But like
we got those free, so I got them on Vita, and then the Infamous games were like dirt cheap, so I picked them up on sale. So.
Yeah.
Well,
that vampire
hard copies from
that vampire DLC for Infamous, I think it was like Blood and something. I forget what it's called, but that
Blood Sacrament or something maybe.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but it's that was like really awesome because it added all these like cool vampire powers to your already superpowers.
Nice.
So it was like really cool.
Have you guys played Infamous Second Son? Yes or no?
Yeah, I have it.
Did you play First Light? Yes or no?
Yes.
I need to get it. I haven't played it.
Okay.
I haven't yet.
Corey, did you feel like the neon? Well, I guess you got the power in from the Second Son. You got the neon power, didn't you?
Yeah.
Was it not better in First Light than it was? Second Son?
It felt way more polished and way more like. That's what I was saying earlier. Was like I feel like First Light was way more polished and focused than Second Son. And
even
like
the story.
Yeah, and like I actually liked First Light better than Second Son because of just how focused and polished it felt, and that story was way stronger. And like I enjoyed Second Son a lot, but like I wish it would have had that focus on like one power instead of 4. Well, you got like 5 powers in Second Son, I think 4 or 5.
You got like 4 or 5 powers,
and like you don't get me wrong, I thought that was cool in concept, but like trying to manage all those powers, and it kind of lost its focus. And they had some cool powers that if they were a little bit more fleshed out or focused, it would have been better. Whereas like First Light was like, okay, you have your neon power, this is the focused story, like and the villain was cool. So yeah,
they said that in a lot of reviews for First Light, it felt more polished.
Breaking up on me, and I didn't hear any of that.
What'd you say, Ed? Sorry, can you repeat that?
That in the reviews, that First Light was more polished. A lot of people like that more than Second Son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I played them both relatively at the same time. So it was one of the first PS Plus games that I got, First Light. So I got it when it's PlayStation Plus, I believe. So, so I liked them both. I liked the larger world of Second Son, but I agree, like the power in First Light and then the story was definitely more focused. So hopefully they learned from that
I need to
They'll
return
move
to
that in their game. Yeah, I was just thinking that the other day. Like, I like it because it's a cool superhero game. Even if you don't want to call him a superhero, because you just like run around and like shoot stuff, and you got like all these powers and stuff. So it's something cool to just run around and play. If you just don't care about the story, but I don't. I gotta make room on my PS4. Gotta delete some stuff. I deleted Street Fighter V the other day because I'm like, I have not turned this on since I downloaded it. I was like, so it's gone.
Man, that game, what awful
is with Capcom
story that was. And now, like, Capcom, everything that they've done lately, except for Resident Evil 7, has had such bad, like, omens around it. Like, the $40 Street Fighter 2 release for Switch. Like, don't get me wrong, super fun, but, like, the same game on Xbox 360 and Xbox One is $15. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. Like, the Street Fighter 5 launch and the season pass crap and like the weird art style that they chose for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Like, I like Capcom as a company. I like their IP. Like, just stop screwing it up. Like, just, I don't know, man. They just need to take like a week and just sit down and be like, we need to fix this crap. Like,
but this is the thing. This is the thing, because Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball games has been like very niche, and when it came to fighters, of course, you know, Street Fighter with all these iterations were more recognizable, and people were willing to buy that. This is the first time that they gave people are giving Dragon Ball more of a try.
Mm-hmm.
And it's becoming mainstream.
I think 5 burned people
over,
and then I don't because they pushed it out to get it to be part of, what is it, Evo, like the Evo circuit, and so they didn't do the story. Then they put the story in, and it seems like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It's kind of the same thing where they like pushing it out to be part of the Evo circuit.
But Evo's already happened though. Like, I don't understand why they didn't just delay it. Like, Evo happened in what, June or July? Like, that's when Street Fighter came out. Was because it has to be released for it to be an Evo, and it came out like 2 weeks before Evo, and that was the big issue. Was like, it's unfinished. It's literally just the mechanics of the game, so they can put it in Evo. But like Marvel vs. Capcom, it's like your characters look weird. Like the games from like Dreamcast look better than this. Like.
Well, they had to get it out because there's still Evo in Japan. That's coming next year.
Yeah, next.
Well, they also want people to have time with it to learn their favorite, favorite characters or favorite moveset. So, I mean, it's whatever. I agree with you. I like I can agree with the statement that I like Capcom for their IPs and like what they've done. I'll probably never play Resident Evil 7, but more power to them having success with that game. But it's really good. Stumbled.
It's scary.
Yeah, I won't play it because it's scary either.
What?
But they had that.
Hold on. Okay, Corey, I understand that. Moose, Dark Souls is scary with this enemy design.
It's not.
With this enemy design.
It's scary.
No. With this enemy design, that game should be scary. Okay, let me rephrase it like that. Resident Evil 7 on suspense and thrillers. So it's not that, it really is not that scary. It makes you jump for the first time.
That's the thing. Like the jump scares gave me, and I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with something like, stuff chases you down in Dark Souls 3. My thing, I think, is now does 7 have third person? Does it have a third person view?
No, everything is first person.
Like I couldn't do first person. Like if I'm playing like a melee-ish type game like Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, like I need to see my character. So like even Skyrim. So Skyrim has first person and it has third person. So I play. So I'm every time I want to say I'm going to play a different type of character, but I play a tank archer. So I do stealth and archery first, and if that doesn't kill whatever I'm trying to kill and they're coming at me, I switch to third person and my two-handed mace, and that's when I go to melee. So like I utilize both camera modes. I'm not like I'm probably in the minority of people who actually use both camera modes when playing that game, because I know a lot of people are just like, I'm in first person or I'm in third person, but I like go back and forth between the two quite a lot. But I'm not going to deal with a scary game where it's only first person. Like, it would have to be third person, and
like,
even then, I don't even want to play it.
I mean, that's why I can handle Resident Evil 1, right? Well, like the remake, I like the remake a lot. I never played the original, and I played the remake on GameCube, and like,
well, you were too young for the original.
No, I wasn't. I was like, what? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how old I was, but like the remake was like, yeah, this is scary, but it's scary in more of a atmospheric way, and like, you know, you can see where the enemies are really, and like, you know, whereas Resident Evil 7 puts you in first person. It has intentional jump scares. It has intentional like everything is just like creepy and scary, and like and the perspective changes a lot of it too, where like when you're in first person, man, like you can't see stuff that's behind you like hear stuff walking around behind you, and
I don't want that anxiety. I don't want that anxiety.
But like Resident Evil 7 don't have that many.
Too old for that. My heart can't handle that.
Wait, what?
I drink too much caffeine for my heart to be able to handle that.
Too much Monster. Well, caffeine, yeah.
You know what?
You two amaze me.
To be fair, I have cut down my caffeine consumption considerably in the last 2 weeks.
Well, that's good, man.
I'm drinking a lot more water
this morning.
You probably feel better that you're drinking more water, because like water hydrates you, so it's good.
I mean, like, I still drink some in the morning, and like I usually I'll drink like one in the morning, and then I'll drink one in the afternoon to like when I get home, because I don't want to take a nap when I get home, because that's just a waste of time. Yeah. But like I still don't want to feel tired while I'm sitting at home, so like I'll have one in the afternoon. But lately I haven't been having an afternoon one, and like sometimes I get a little bit of a headache. Like right now I have a little bit of headache, but I think that's because I'm hungry too, because I haven't eaten in a while. But like,
same here.
I don't know, man. I just like getting back to the Resident Evil perspective thing. It's just like I can't do it. Like I watched my friend play Resident Evil 7 up to the first like the car bot, like when you're fighting the guy in the garage with the car, and I was just like, it was the middle of the day with the lights on, and we were like recording some stuff, and I was like, nah, dude, I can't do this. I can't even watch you play this.
I love it. Because I got it for Xbox One, and I played it, and I was just like, this game went for it. They achieved their goal of scaring you. But it's just like, even when you die and you do it over, you kind of get used to it, so it's not really that scary after that. But I think it's a really good. I think Capcom started the year off right with Resident Evil 7 this year.
And they start
coming. Yeah. I think I just feel bad for them for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I really think they should have just went with a Power Stones or with Darksiders. I think they should have went with an other fighting series of a
Darkstalkers, you mean, right? Darksiders. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that's what you meant.
Sorry, I'm looking at my PS4 games and I've seen Darksiders 2 that I need to finish.
I need to platinum that and the first one.
The first one was really, really good. I don't think I want to try to get a platinum Darksiders.
You brought up like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Like they're scarier on like a psychological thing. It's not jump scares. It's not like horror. It's scary, like on a it's just
the atmosphere. It's the atmosphere that
exactly. And once you get past it, you're like, okay, like I'm fine. Like I've had nightmares over Resident Evil 2. I have not had nightmares over Bloodborne. So you know what I mean? Like that's probably why I will not play Resident Evil 7. So.
Man,
I should message Jason and be like, we gotta do the challenge.
Now it has to be a game that I own, so it would only be Resident Evil the remake.
Look, I wish we could give games to PlayStation owners like the Wii, because I'd be like, oh, I got Moose. Oh, Resident Evil is on sale. Here you go, Moose.
Now you own it. Damn it!
Right. Jason, he almost Resident Evil 7. Let him go play it.
No. I still wouldn't play it. I'd be like, you have to pick something else. So I'm not touching it.
I would say this. I wouldn't recommend you playing it in VR. I think VR would be too much for you.
Oh no,
Yeah.
VR, dude, no.
You know, if Resident Evil 7 came to PSN for like a trial, like for a free game, I would say at least play it. If it fears you and you don't like it, at least you played it. Delete it off your system.
Well, I think Infamous Second Sons. I mean, they've had a bunch of PS4 like AAA titles, but I think that's one of the bigger ones where they're finally like, okay, now a lot of our AAA stuff is going to start being free as PlayStation, PlayStation Plus games. So, I mean, I'm interested to see what they're going to have for the rest of the year, PlayStation Plus wise. So it's going to be, I don't know. I'd like to see them start doing like, first party games. Like, oh, hey, here's
even if it's the remastered stuff, like God of War 3 remastered, or like
or even Last of Us. They can even do Last of Us or the Nathan Drake collection. Although that might be later in the cycle. So
if they did the Nathan Drake collection, that would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be huge.
I mean, you're basically getting 3 games for that
for free, which would be awesome.
Yeah. So
come through, Sony.
Jeez. I still love that opening sequence of Uncharted 2 with the train.
I hate that. I'm sorry. I just hate Uncharted 2. I think that is the worst game in the whole series.
You're the worst.
What?
Of course I'm the worst.
Uncharted 2 is the best one.
No, Uncharted 2 is
the best. 4 is the best.
I think Uncharted 3 is better than 2. Uncharted 4 for its visuals. Uncharted 4 does look pretty, and that is a game to own a PlayStation 4. But 2 is like 1 for me, if ranking them. Without playing the Vita version, or was it Vita or PSP? I think it's Vita.
That was Vita. It was one of the first Vita games. It makes you use every freaking aspect of it. So,
I would go Uncharted 3, 4, 1, and then 2 as the last.
Yeah.
I just shot a guy with 15,000 bullets. And then in the cutscene, Chloe comes in, shoot him with 1 bullet, and he's dead. What? Really?
Rise of the Tomb Raider is the best Uncharted.
Headshots. I love shooting guys in the head, and they don't die.
I know.
They just don't. I'm like, some of the
shooting in Uncharted feels like when you play The Division and you realize it's like you're playing an RPG and you're shooting guys in the head and you just see all these numbers fly off their face and it's like, oh, they have another health bar under this one.
Yeah.
Guess I gotta shoot him more in the face. But like it feels like that in Uncharted, like to a lesser extent.
Right. But like, see, like you expect that, you're told to expect that from The Division. Like you're not told to expect that from Uncharted. Like when I first played, the first Naughty Dog game I played was Last of Us, and I'm sitting there and I'm playing, and I shoot a guy in the head. I see the bullet hit his head. I see his head go back because he ducks behind cover, comes back out, and starts shooting me again. I'm like, so basically, what you're saying is I have 0 to no bullets, but then also you're going to punish me by making the shooting mechanics absolute shit. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I put a bullet in his head. That's 1 bullet shot at that guy. He should be dead. But you're going to be like, no, you have to use more of your limited supply of bullets to kill people. And it's just, it's ridiculous.
Oh.
Anyways, it's not as bad as the Witcher controls, but
I wish Naughty Dog would like hire a new like gameplay mechanics advisor or something.
Oh yeah. I agree.
Like I think Naughty Dog is a good studio. I do, in my opinion, I do think sometimes they're a little overrated in certain areas, but like that gameplay, man, if they could just hire a gameplay advisor and be like, okay, this is how guns should work. This is how it should feel when you're playing it. And then they should go play other games like kind of like Gears of
Mass
War
Effect
or
3.
Mass Effect 2 or 3 or something.
Division. Now the Division, you do have to kill put a lot of bullets into somebody, but the game mechanics of cover, aiming at somebody, the way the gun behaves, you know, like when you're using the AK, it goes up and to the right. You know what I mean? So you know, like the arc. It's not like you're shooting and like bullets 1 through 3 are good, 4 and 5 are off to the left and the right, and 6 and 7. You know what I mean? Like it's not sporadic. You know, like you have like a certain pattern to the gun shooting. You know, so I think I agree with you. I think if they could hire somebody that can help them with their game mechanics, they would be good to go.
Yeah, so. I actually really like the Division a lot. I stopped playing because I put like 50 hours into a character, and that second update deleted all my saves. And I was like, I'm not doing that again, because like I had at the time the Vector was like the best weapon in the game, and I had that super leveled up. I had, you know, this really awesome shotgun. I had some really cool gear. Like maybe I'll revisit it. Maybe I don't know if it's too late or not, but I actually really like the Division.
We're trying to get the platinum, so if you want to play with us, let us know.
Okay, I actually almost had the platinum at one point in the Division. That was actually going to be my first platinum, was the Division, and my files got deleted. I'm like, well,
because I have 2 rogue kills, and you need 20, so I need 18 rogue kills to get that last trophy for the platinum. I'm never going to be able to 100% the game, because the game just has so much trophies from the DLC, and some of them just aren't worth playing. But like it's to the point where my character, if I go into the Dark Zone, is just overpowered by everybody that's been playing in the Dark Zone. So I need to do it with my new character that I've been playing with, Jeff and Jason and Amanda. So try and get her in there. And we're also thinking of doing it instead of like, you know, like you could boost people. Instead of doing boosting, we were going to try and do like a cat and mouse type thing. We're like, okay, these 2 people are, you know, need their rogue kills, so we're going to do 2v2. We're going to do 2 people are rogues and 2 people are hunting them down. You know what I mean? So like the person that's rogue isn't just like 3 people against 1 person. Right. They have another teammate, and just then that way you actually have to earn the kill, not necessarily earn it as in like playing in a regular game, but still you have to earn it to a certain extent.
Can you trick the game into thinking like people you're playing with are going to go rogue? Can you trick the game into doing that?
I don't know. I think the only problem is if they're still in your group and they go rogue, the whole team goes rogue. So like they have to drop out of your party first and then go rogue.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just I haven't looked too far into it to try and figure out how we can do it. But yeah, I don't think you can trick the game into thinking that someone's going to go rogue. Like you get a warning. Like if you shoot at somebody, you get like a warning to say you're about to go rogue, and then you have to like stop shooting people. Because I know people would walk in front of people's line of fire just to cause people to go rogue, turn around and kill them. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Which is ridiculous. That was always cheesy and stupid.
Right.
Played the Dark Zone, and I ran through the whole game by myself. Like I didn't co-op that game with nobody.
That game had the opposite problem of Destiny 1 originally, by the way, where like the campaign was really solid and had a lot of cool fights and a lot of cool missions, and then the end game kind of lacked. Shit. And then like Destiny was like, oh my gosh, why do I have to play this god awful story to get to the end game, which is like good, but then it got better over time, and then like, yeah, I don't know. I need to revisit the Division. I want to play the Division now. I really liked it because it felt like Gears of War, but like had all these really cool RPG mechanics, and Ubisoft's update just scrambled my progress.
I reactivate my agent.
What happens with Ubisoft that they show a CGI trailer, and then when the actual game comes out, it's nothing like the trailer. Like
that pissed me off. Like the map was supposed to be on the ground. Like the whole mechanics of having somebody tap in on their tablet game and control the droid or the droid. So like they could just like fly in and tag enemies and debuff enemies and buff you, and it like that would have been freaking awesome. But they, even if you were playing on your PS4, you could have did that. You'd be like, okay, I'm the guy running the drone for our missions tonight. You know what I mean? Like that still would have been cool. They could have put that into the game. You know what I mean? Like just be like, all right, the three of us are playing, and be like, all right, well, Moose, me, I'll be like, all right, guys, you guys go out. It's going to be 3 persons, but I'm going to be in the drone spotting stuff for you guys, buffing, debuffing, making sure everything be your eye in the sky. I think that would have been cool. And then he's just like in the base, just hanging out in a little drone flying like a computer. You guys can come back from the mission and see me while I'm flying the drone around or something, but that would have been cool. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it in the sequel.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm excited. I'm actually excited for a Division sequel because like, I think that they've learned a lot just by developing the first game. And if they implement it into the second game, like, make incursions more interesting. Like maybe you have to infiltrate this building. Give me like a Die Hard situation, but I can go in with my team where I have to like go through all these different floors of a giant tower and like, okay, well, this floor has a mini boss who has set bombs and you have to trick the boss into setting off the bombs when he's close to one. And like, or something like that. Whereas like the incursions were just basically a glorified horde mode.
Yeah. Yeah, it was glorified horde mode. Now, did you get the season pass, Corey?
Yeah.
You should try the survival. I want to try survival. I haven't tried it yet, but that's supposed to be cool because you have to monitor like your thirst index, your heat, your hunger. Not only all that, but you got to like make clothes. You have to like scrounge for weapons and stuff like that, and that's supposed to be pretty cool. You can play on PvP or PvE servers, so it's basically like if you want, like 3 of us could go in and play against the environment, or you can go in where you can play PvP where it's like you can meet up with somebody else, but then they can turn bad or like kill you or something.
Right. So, right. They could just screw you over.
I think they need to fix the story of that game because it felt like the game revolved around you fighting like different gangs instead of anything like the affection or whatever caused the cause. Felt like you were just fighting different other humans.
Yeah, well, I think what they were trying to take back New York and try and get, because New York apparently was ground zero for Patient 1 was there, or Patient 0 was there, so they were trying to get the other factions from screwing up the contamination zones. Like, what was it, the cleaners? The guys with the flamethrowers, all they wanted to do was burn everything. And it's like, no, you can't do that because if we got to find a cure for the plague, quote unquote, the virus, we need this to do research on. And so I think they just cut it short because they probably knew there was going to be a sequel. And they were like, we're just going to take back New York and set up the second game where it's like more so fighting to figure out the disease, like trying to really track it down.
Yeah.
Think,
plus, like,
I think they're probably.
Oh, go ahead, Ed. Sorry.
Because what we played it like the Division, it felt like the Warriors kind of storyline in a way, or where there's different ways that you're going, but there's different gangs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like that was the kind of focus of the Division. Then whatever the effective was, because it shows like in part 2 now we're going to focus on what this game really should have been about.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Corey. Now.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, to me, like I just looked at the Division kind of like the same way I played Destiny, where like I'm honestly not playing it for the story. I'm playing it to get for like the loot drops and the gear and to play with my friends and cool mission design and kind of like, just kind of experience the game with friends and get better as feel that progression, instead of the story where like I kind of just feel like the story in those games are kind of just filler to have something for the gameplay to revolve around, because like, let's be honest, the Division story is like, it's a cool concept of a story, but like it's not really relevant. It's just it's a way to get you to say, okay, this is why the city looks this way. This is why you need.
And this is why I'm fighting. Yeah, this is why I'm gearing up, and this is
Yeah.
why I'm fighting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with Destiny 2. Destiny also, right? Is like, okay, the Traveler, nobody really knows what it is. Yeah, we have this light, and that's a story reason why I can be revived by my teammates, and I get all this cool gear and these cool guns to shoot things with, and that's it, right? Like the story doesn't really make sense, but like for me, The Division, Destiny, Diablo, those types of games, the story doesn't need to make sense for me to go in there and have a good time. You know, but then there's games that I do look for story to have a good time, like, you know, Horizon or Zelda or Hellblade. Like those games all have, you know, terrific stories that's why I'm playing those games, is to follow the story. You know, it's just one of those things where it's a game by game basis where I look for story or gameplay or whatever. So, you know, so I mean those old NES games don't have great stories. Like Super Mario Brothers there's no story. Just this guy in some red overalls jumping on turtles
And mushrooms.
but it's fun. Like the gameplay is fun and it's there, and like, yeah, the story's been fleshed out over time, but like, yeah. Super Mario Brothers is great. Super Mario Brothers 3 is the best.
That's debatable.
It's not debatable. It's the best.
Yes, it is.
It's not debatable.
Don't make us
Super Mario
kill you,
2. Actually, Super Mario 2 is my favorite.
Yes.
Super Mario 3 is the best, but Super Mario 2 is my favorite.
So was Red Dead 3.
Well, we've been going for like a little over an hour and a half. Do we wanna wrap the show? We had some good discussions. I'm very happy.
I think we're good to wrap the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can go eat with your wife because she was making dinner.
Yeah, that's true. She is. It's ready. I smell it. I smell
Yeah, I was
it.
gonna say
need
she's
to go
probably
get
gonna be coming in being like, "Are you coming to eat?" Or
No,
are we with
she already texted me and said, "These are the best burgers I've ever made." I'm like, oh, well, now I'm hungry. So
she has taken on my persona. If you're not there to eat, I'm starting without you.
yeah,
There
pretty
you
much.
go. Best persona.
Ed, you're gonna experience it this weekend. This good cooking.
Yes.
Ed's coming to visit. It's gonna be
Oh,
awesome.
nice. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Why Moose posts everything and I just so love to him. Like, yes. Every time Moose posts something, he can be talking about cleaning the tab and I'll be like, yes.
I know. I see it all the time.
I think Ed just has that copy paste.
Yeah, he does. It's in his like note.
I
It's
just
his
get
go-to.
I'm just happy about a lot of things, and I like
That's good.
and stuff like that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Well,
Were you like out of town this week, Moose? Or
It was last
Were you,
weekend we were camping. No, this past
Okay.
weekend. This past weekend we were here. I was here for my brother's birthday. This past weekend.
oh, okay.
We were down in Charlotte hanging out, having a good time.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's 40, which means I'm getting closer to 40.
oh,
and I don't like
that
that.
means I'm 30. Great. Yes.
That's me in 3 more years.
You still
What?
have your 30s ahead of you, but
I know. I'm so excited. I'm not 40 yet. I'm the youngest one. Feels great. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching NGR Radio. Remember, we have a whole family of shows you can listen to. Nerds Gone Platinum, Nintendo Power Block, Arsenal X, The Brew Review, World 1-1, Matt and the B-Flats when they record another episode. I'm not sure what's happening. I didn't get that far because I subscribe to the podcast. I have not listened to the podcast because music
there's
does
a
not
lot of
me. It's one of those shows where I just like leave my laptop in the other room and I just press play so they get to listen and I just go in the other room.
A mess. That
You're
is a mess.
Hey man,
You're a
I want to make sure I'm supporting the show without actually having to listen
You
to
have
the
to
boring
hear it to
music.
show the support.
Oh,
That's horrible. At least he
Yeah.
listens to Nerds Gone Platinum. So.
oh man, yeah, dude, I'm really happy with the progress of Power Block and GP. By the way, they're they're starting to get neck and neck. It's looking good. They are looking good.
I don't think we've told you we're adding Jeff's going to be our third chair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're going to add him as our third host.
Awesome.
So yeah,
I mean, he's on enough anyway. You might as well, right?
I know exactly. He might even. I think it's Jason's whole plan to replace me. So eventually the episodes will just start going up, and he won't tell me we're recording. Or they'll record episodes, and then we'll record an episode together, and they'll just put up the one that they recorded.
Is that Jesse White?
No, Jeff.
No, Jeff Flatten.
Oh, Jeff.
Yeah.
From what podcast? From where?
He's been on Nerds Gone Platinum.
Yeah, he's
a couple times.
He's been on like what 4 or 5 episodes at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
And he gets it on NGR maybe a month ago, I think.
Yeah.
3 or 4 episodes ago.
He wears glasses, right?
Yes. Correct.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. He's a cool guy.
Well, Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at @ThatRetroCode. You can also find my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and other podcast apps. Hear me on Arsenal X, hear me on World 1-1, and hear me on World Nintendo Power Block. And hopefully soon, I'll probably be having another podcast starting soon. But
that's all it does is podcast. It's just like, podcast.
Moose, I'll fill you in on that. It's something that Ed and I have been talking about. We want to get you and Matt involved at some point too. It's
sweet.
Yeah, I'll fill you in.
And also, if you guys want to follow me on PlayStation, it's Okamical, OKAIMICAL. Xbox One, the lyrical one, and check Nintendo Power Block for my friend code for Switch and 3DS.
Yeah.
Yes.
Moose.
When I get a Switch, I will look.
Yeah. Moose, are you really going to get a Switch? Are you going to get a Switch?
It might be in the near future. Although I've been contemplating getting a PC first. My thing is, so here's the problem with Nintendo. I don't feel like Nintendo really, like, Sony and Microsoft had these cycles. So they'll release their console. Then the next year, the console's the same, the holiday season, it's the same price, but you get a game. So there's a bundle. Then the next year, it's like $50 less and you get a free game. And then, the next year it's like $100. You know what I mean? So like this fall,
Emotions.
What was it? It was probably like $250 last year. So it'll probably be $199 this year. Whatever the regular price is it still $299 and $399 for the Pro and whatever? So it might be.
I think they've been running deals at $249 for the Slim.
Yeah, so they'll probably bump the Slim down to $199. To kind of keep the sales going.
Could you imagine if they did that?
Can I say they need to actually get the Pros out in a lot of stores? They don't have the Pro in.
I don't think a lot of people care about the Pro, to be honest. I have one, but that's because I just got it because I wanted one.
They even did that with PSVR.
Not a lot of people want the Pro.
It's causing a lot of issues. It's causing a lot of issues for Destiny.
I just got
There's a PlayStation 4 Pro problem with Destiny. It is a PlayStation 4 Pro specific problem.
And they know about it?
Yeah, they do, but they haven't fixed it yet. And it's like it just kicks you out randomly. It kicks you out of the whole game randomly. It just shuts your game down, and you just like an error's occurred, and it kicks you back to the bar, like the main home screen.
Yeah, the home screen.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the dashboard.
And that's the thing with Pro is that if you're going to market all your games on the Pro, how about you get the system out so people can
But they aren't. Yeah. They're marketing God of War 4 on a normal one. Like all the gameplay footage they captured was on a normal PS4.
The only one I saw recently that they said was captured on a PS4 Pro was the Shadow of the Colossus that they showed at TGS. Mm-hmm. But anyways. We got off on a tangent. My whole thing was like, once the Switch might drop in price and come with a game, that might be when I pick it up.
Well, so this winter it's coming with Mario Odyssey.
See, I might have to pick one up. So, although what I would rather have is Zelda. So Legend of Zelda. But what are you gonna do?
But work on that PC. Where do you get that PC?
But I do want to get a PC just so I can play some indies. And whatever, but that's that. So I'll find you and your friend code I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm just gonna friend you and start trash talking you and be like, it's Moose.
No, because then I'll just come and throw shades on PlayStation shit like I normally do sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
And hold on, it did say yes to Moose because he playing the game on PS4, and I'll be like, I'm playing that game right now too.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Moose, where can we find you?
you can find me at Sven on Twitter. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Just enjoy the game. My Twitter, PSN, Xbox when I possibly get one. Probably not. I'm also. You can find me and Jason at NG_platinum on Twitter, and you can email questions, comments, and concerns for our show at nerdsgoneplatinum@gmail.com.
Forward to y'all later newest episode. That was a good question Jason asked on the
The last one.
First. Would you think they're good or bad?
You were breaking up on me. What do you think? Oh, trailers?
Oh.
Yeah. That should be. Yeah, that'll be next week's show. So, or that'll be tomorrow. We're recording tomorrow, so you should be able to listen to that probably about the same time you get this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can find me at CorinHD on Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter. You can find me in the NGR Radio community. You can email the show at ngrradiopodcast@gmail.com. Gosh, there's so many email addresses. I almost messed up. You can find me on Nintendo Power Block and Arsenal X and World 1-1. And this show every week, NGR Radio goes up at 10 a.m. on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Shout Engine, and YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. And until next week, we love you.
Peace.
Oh,
Banana and out.
Banana and out.
Banana milkshakes are the bomb.
What?
They are good. Banana milkshakes are good.